All right, here we got my friend's Grand Design Imagine AIM 16 ml model trailer. We'll come up to this right in the entrance here. We put in the Victron battery monitor. Wiring for that came up and around the doorway and down and over and through. It doesn't actually go all the way over. It goes through into the gear tunnel behind there. Also, we took, this is the TV cabinet that's above the kitchen, and disassembled it and reused some of the panels to kind of put a 45 here to hide all the wiring that comes out of the ceiling there, and reinstalled these in the panel, and reused some of the pieces to make some trim edging and a shelf. So we've got some useful space reclaimed, because that was just a big hollow space behind the TV. So we did a major lithium upgrade in this trailer, and I will go out and show you that. So coming over to the gear tunnel here, we've got two of these Epic batteries, 460 amp hour lithium batteries. We've got a Victron 150/60 MPPT, and then further down here we've got the rest of our wiring and fuse blocks and that kind of thing. This wiring comes down through the floor. This is the wiring that I was just talking about that goes to the battery monitor up front. And then this wiring goes through the floor, comes out down here, runs over, and is the new feed for the junction for all the 12 volt accessories. So normally you would have a battery on the tongue that would just come over here, and instead we've got our battery in here with the wire that just comes to that junction point. So all the wiring beyond that is stock. So we'll come over here to the other side of the gear tunnel, and on this side you can see the other side of those fuse blocks and stuff. And then this is the inverter that came with the unit, but the geniuses, sarcasm, at Grand Design put the wiring and the main fuse behind this panel and then glued it all in place to make it watertight. So you can't actually get to any of that wiring. So we abandoned that wiring and ran our own wiring over with our own off switch. We also took out the, sorry about the train noise, took out the solar charge controller that was here and put in a solar shutoff, and then run the wiring over to the MPPT that's down there, which by the way is sized for a lot more solar. So that'll be the next upgrade. Right now there is just two 200 watt Go Power panels on the roof. So we have 400 watts of solar on the roof, with the expansion capability to go way more than that. But this is a 2000 watt inverter with transfer switch. It is not a charger. There's still a converter running in the trailer. So also, this is the original decorative panel that was there along this wall. I took that off, used riv nuts into the aluminum framing, and bolted a piece of 1/2 inch Baltic birch to the wall to mount everything to, and it has T-nuts in the back of it. And so then we have another piece of 1/2 inch Baltic birch that's here, and so and then acorn nuts on the end, and so the batteries are all sandwiched in there. And this decorative panel, if you take that off and leave the Baltic birch where it is, there's holes to get to all the fusing and stuff. So that's still very serviceable to get to all of your main fuses and that kind of thing if you need to service it at all. So that has been working very well for her. She has a, this is a 13,500 BTU rooftop air conditioner with soft start, and that will run off of this system with a big heat change, at least 15-degree difference between inside and outside. We can get up to, I think, about 20 hours of runtime. So this system right now has a ton of battery and not a lot of charging capability, and so we'll hopefully fix that with solar. So the big battery bank is great. It can just be slow to come up to charge. Solar upgrade will be next, and at some point we may swap out this inverter for an inverter charger that will charge a little faster than the existing converter that is down here behind the electrical panel. There it is. So the one other thing I had to do in the electrical panel is, for some reason, the oven microwave combo was not on inverter power, and so I switched it over. Half of this panel is all of your mains coming in, and half of it is inverter and inverter pass-through. So everything, air conditioning, the oven, everything will run off of the inverter. She has been baking loaves of bread in this thing as an oven on inverter power. So definitely robust and works. So at some point we will hopefully just unplug that converter and have an inverter charger. But for now, this is a very capable off-grid system with some reclaimed storage, lots of battery, real battery monitoring that's not voltage based, yeah, works great.